Okay everyone, in this video we're going to start to take a look at the German consonants, starting with the letters B through H. If we look at the alphabet, which is the same for German as it is for English, what we're going to do is group these and go through systematically. So we'll start with this group. This line will be part 1, this will be part 2, and part 3, and you can reference them in 3 separate videos. Alright, so looking at this first row of letters, we can go ahead and check a couple of them off our list. We know all there is to know about the letter A and the letter E. After that, I think I'll rate these from easiest to hardest, and we'll handle them that way. First will be the letter F, the very easiest. Then we'll talk about the letter H, and then the letter C. And then we're going to talk about B, D, and G as a group because they really work together. First up is the letter F. Guess what? Every time you see a letter F in German, you can go ahead and pronounce it just like the F in English. F. Told you it was going to be easy. The pronunciation of the letter H is going to depend entirely on the position of the letter H within the word. So words that start with letter H will have that H pronounced as an H in English, the sound H. So for example, words like Halle. Now where this gets a little bit tricky is that sometimes we need to look to root words in German, not unlike root words in English where there might be a prefix on the front of a word. Well, in that case, for instance, a word like gehabt, I will still pronounce this H because the word here is habt with the prefix ge. In all other cases, the letter H will be silent. So whether it's between vowels, this is sehen, or in this case, which we've seen already, it's there to affect the pronunciation of the I. This is the word ihr. Or words like this that will be tempting for us to pronounce the H, it's still silent. This is ruhig, not ruhig. Let's go on to the letter C. C is going to exist in a couple of different situations that we need to take a look at. The first and most common is that CH. If you need a little refresher on that, reference our video from last week, but you can remember it's either pronounced as an Ich-Laut or as an Ach-Laut. One minor detail to add here, though, is that sometimes you'll see the spelling CHS at the end of the word, and that is actually going to be pronounced with a K. So words like this is Zex. Then you also will see a common spelling that happens in English too, which is a CK, pronounced exactly as you would imagine, just a K. In terms of seeing the letter C before a vowel, it is honestly not all that common. However, when it happens, it groups into similar groupings as we are familiar with from Italian. So CI or CE, or in this case, CA with an umlaut, because of course we know A with an umlaut is pronounced just like an E, are all going to be pronounced TS. Words like cis or Caesar. And then the other half are going to be the other letters you expect, CA, CO, CU, which will be the hard K sound, words like cafe. All right, that finally moves us to the most complicated of the group, which are the letters B, D, and G. Each of these consonants has 2 possible pronunciations, one being the regular voiced consonant sound that we are used to, and then the other being its unvoiced pair. So with the letter B, it can either be pronounced B, or if you think about the exact same position but without pitch, it would be a P. And then letter D will either be D or T. And letter G, either G, or think about the other sound that's right in the same place in the mouth, G, 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 K, 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 K. All right, the majority of the time, these letters will be pronounced as their normal voiced version, either B, D, or G. The rule that we need to keep track of, the set of rules that is is the ones by which these consonants become unvoiced. So we're looking at either when it is final in a word or final in a consonant cluster, which I'll elaborate on that in a second. In these two cases, if it's one of these, either final in a word or final in a consonant cluster, these consonants will be unvoiced. Therefore, they will revert to their unvoiced pair, p, t, or k. You can see this in action in some simple words like L-A-U-B. That final B will be pronounced p. Therefore, it is laup. Again, I'll just add all of this. Laup. Here's a common word. It's the word for death. German poetry loves to talk about it, with a final D that will actually be pronounced as a T. So this is tot. And one more. Here's the German word for day. This final G will be pronounced as a K. Tag. Then remember, I also talked about final consonant clusters. This exists in words like geliebt. You see we have this in a cluster of consonants. That will still be pronounced P. Or in words like this, where we hit two of them, consonant cluster GD, it will go to KT, macht. We do need to be careful of one more element when talking about B, D, and G, which is the nature of whether something is part of a root of a word or whether it maybe is in a suffix or has a suffix after it, rather. So let's look at a word like this. This is the word love, Liebe. This follows all the rules you already know. A B is pronounced as a B. It's not final in the word. There's this ending, which is a schwa after it. We get Liebe. Now, when we start taking out this root here, we get words like this, which has a suffix. One more thing I need to bring to your attention is that it is possible to see letters B, D, and G as the ending of a root of a word, even though there is still a suffix after it. So for instance, let's take this word. This is the word Liebe. The B is pronounced like a B because the B is not final in the word. It's the word for love. We have that ending schwa, just like you know. So we're looking at Liebe here. Now, the issue is sometimes we will see this root, L-I-E-B, inserted into other words with suffixes. So words like lieblich and liebchen. These suffixes change the meaning of it. Lich means like, so we get love like, or essentially the word lovely. And chen means small, or it's the diminutive, so it's kind of a playful word to say my love, my little love. In this case, you see we have the B ending the root before a suffix. So we are going to actually pronounce these B's like they are final in the word. Lieblich and Liebchen. And I'm just going to add one more thing because I know you were hoping there would be more. There is one more spelling with the letter G final that we need to be aware of, and it's quite common, is a word ending in IG. Oddly enough, and I can't explain why, we will pronounce this ending I, ich laut, ich. So words like we've seen, let's take this one, let's pull it apart. We get here R, then we get a closed U because there's just one consonant after it. That H will be silent. And then we get, sorry, that's not a very good C, ruhig.